Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 2, Episode 5, where we discuss Naked Attraction, Season 1, Episode 2. And I'm the host, Chris Lorenz. Sitting to my right is...
Harrison Hoffman.
Sitting to his right...
Robert Kitts.
Sitting to my left...
Maxim Magazine.
Sitting to his
Pretty
left...
good. James.
So, yeah, this show is pretty crazy. It's a little out there.
Welcome to Dicks in Your Face. That's all the show is.
There was more than just dicks.
Dicks
Lot of
out
dicks
for
flopping
British
around.
reality TV.
I feel like James is really, focusing on the dicks.
I'm over the show as soon as we turned it on.
That's fair. That's fair.
Should we tell the audience what the show is?
Yes.
Or should we
I
ramble
thought I
about it
just
for
did.
another 5 minutes?
You
The show is
I was
called
waiting
Dicks
for
in Your
people
Face.
to chime in, so...
Okay, so this is a show that's on Channel 4 in the UK, and they have a very succinct description on their website.
What is it called?
It is called Naked Attraction.
I'm not sure that we've said that.
Yeah, we did.
Definitely did.
Chris
Okay.
literally just
And
said
I said what episode we watched.
My bad.
Maxim Max. Come on.
I'm a couple rum and cokes in.
We're off to a great start so far.
You got to be a couple rum and cokes in to watch this show.
There's no amount of liquor to make you want to watch the show again.
So this description might sound familiar to regular Who Put This On listeners. A daring new dating series that starts where some good dates might end. Naked.
I love that that's the description on their website.
Should we describe the overall arch of
Yeah,
the
you
show?
know Dating Naked? It's that show, but with 6 naked people on a TV,
It's
and everyone's
not-
just
it's
naked.
It's not even close
No
to Dating
sense in it.
Naked.
No.
Your
Doesn't
description
matter.
sounded
This show's a piece of
exactly like
shit.
Dating Naked.
Don't watch it. Just save your time. Just moving on.
It's definitely different than Dating Naked.
Okay,
in
I want to
some
hear
ways.
some hot takes. I want to hear everybody's initial reactions to the show. James,
Should we-
I've already
we-
gone.
clear
Moving
no.
on.
Should we tell people what the show is before we give reactions
Yes,
to it?
yes, you're right.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So Max, do you want to break down the show for us?
Sure. Okay. So there's the guy section, and then there's the girl section. They're basically the same, but with genders switched. So anyway, let's talk about the guy section. This dude walks in. He may or may not be a tool. In this case, he was a tool. And then,
But he started by saying, "Now I feel like so this guy's at DJs. Like I feel like DJs have a bad reputation because everyone thinks DJs are players. I wonder where they got that idea.
But he's not a player.
he said he's not a player.
he said he's not a player, hence it must be true. Anyway, they walk into this room where there's a host and these 6 boxes that have moving fronts. And each of these boxes have naked people in them. So the
Yeah, it's a real red light, district style.
the
kinda
setup
feel.
of the show is as follows. Round 1, they raise the boxes such that you can only see the 6 people's butts. Then the people turn around so you can also see their genitalia. One person is voted off at this time. The veils raise up a little bit more so you can see their torso, their nipples, that sort of stuff, but not their heads yet. Another person is voted off. You raise up so you can see their heads. Another person is voted off. Then they speak, and another person is voted off. So by this point, there's only 2 people in play, and then it's just, up to you.
No. Then the person kicking people off gets naked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a huge game changer. That's true.
And then
Huge game changer.
Huge game changer.
Huge.
And then they pick who they want to go on a date with.
Correct.
But
And
they pick the thing that happened. The main person gets naked. Then the 2 remaining people get to say things about that person's body, and then they pick.
Yeah, we glossed over a little bit, but
Yeah.
and it's essentially
Fine. No one gives a
each
shit.
each person has a color, and they get kicked off by the color of the cube.
Each
they're
box
in.
is different color, so
Yeah.
you can when you only see them from the waist down, you don't know any names. You just like the red one because they're in the red box.
Yeah, that's the show. That's all it is. It's a bunch of naked people.
Yeah,
There were some amazing quotes both from the show and from us during the show.
So did you capture any of these quotes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hit us.
So the host says, "Do you like vaginas?" And the guy says, "Yes, I like what they represent. It's where I came from and it's where I want to be."
Not a player.
Not a player.
Specifically, not a player.
If you're saying that sort of shit, you're obviously not a player.
Yeah, he was totally a player.
He was such a player, and like most of the show is just him making comments about these people's bodies where you can't see their faces. And then when he finally did see their face, he turns to the host, is like, I'm embarrassed. I think I've been saying some really mean things. And the host's like, no, it's fine. Just keep going. But it's like, you totally have.
It's a pretty mean show in general. It's just
Yeah.
like, objectifying these people and just talking about them when they can't defend themselves, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, he kicked off somebody because he didn't like their toes.
No, it was one toe specifically, and he's like, I don't like her pinky toe because it looks too much like my pinky toe. That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And then when he-
this is the level the show is
That
at.
was the first person he kicked off when he'd only seen her from the waist down. And then when he saw her whole body, he was like, I've made a terrible mistake.
She was cute.
That's the
She was
risk.
really
What-
cute.
I think she was the hottest one out of the 6 there.
I just want to have a meta discussion. James is so out of this right now. He's so done.
I was interested in the hot takes, and then we just described the show in excruciating detail for no reason.
We
It's a
didn't- we're
dumbass
just-
show.
Well, no, this
we're
is for
talking about the show. We're not like
I
going through
wanted
each
to hear the
bit.
hot takes, and it never came.
All
so
right,
I
all right.
feel like I got teased there.
Well,
Okay,
no,
let's
so
hear your
now
hot
people-
take, James.
I already gave my hot take.
Now people know what the show is about. They know how it works.
Oh,
I
by
wanna
the
hear
way,
some
if
hot
you're
takes.
if you're thinking about it, this is fully uncensored on Channel 4.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like
Yeah, if you were thinking it was a bunch of blurred out stuff, you'd be wrong.
yeah.
it's HD.
I didn't need the 64-inch HD version of the show. It was too much.
64-inch.
You have an 80-inch TV, James.
So, James, if the show was exactly the same, but they were blurring everything out, would your opinion of the show change?
I think the show works because of that, because it's a shock factor. But I never want to watch the show again.
It wouldn't make any sense if it was blurred out because you wouldn't know what they were talking about.
Right.
It would just be like zooming in on like a blurred out crotch and like them just talking
Well,
about.
it'd just be like the host would be like, "What do you think of this?" And then you just hear the explanation without you being able to see like what they were talking
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Maybe he would describe it for you.
He was describing all
Oh
kinds
yeah,
of things.
that's true. He was.
He went on some insane rants about his personal preferences with the female body.
There was a lot of like labia discussion.
I think a labia was compared to a cheeseburger at some point, and the host was not following. And she's like, "Can you explain this more? I don't really get it." And he was gesturing with his hands, and it was very strange.
It's that little bit of cheese just at the edge that's just about to drip off the cheeseburger, and the host has no fucking clue what
She's
he's talking
like-
about.
she's
He
like,
sounds
"Well,"
like an idiot.
Like, well, I've never seen anything like that or something.
Definitely not a player.
Yeah,
just going into
definitely
a
not
lot
a
of
player.
detail about all these things. He also talked a lot about the size of butt cracks and how that relates to like a whole bunch of other things with their
It was about
personality.
booty. It was about booty. It was like the smaller the butt crack, the less booty or something.
No, well, it was something crazy because he made that comment about the girl's butt cracks, and then they were showing a girl who had a pretty big butt crack, but then they were just like, oh, but actually, like scientifically, if girls have big butt cracks, then they're gonna be better at having babies.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why
They
guys
kept
like girls with big
interjecting
butt
the
cracks
show
or something.
with these terrible scientific things, and you're like, that's
The bar
Could-
science was too real in
yeah,
the show.
it was too bad. It was like 2/3 of people like guys with facial hair. I'm like, where are you pulling that stat from?
They did some
Doesn't mean
survey.
anything. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, they had all these like weird little science facts that may not be facts, but whatever.
My favorite one was guys who like big butts really think she'd make a good mother.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What was the deep voice one? It was something.
Oh, people with deep voices have bad sperm.
Well, they're
No,
like.
but there was like a pro, and they're like, but watch out.
Well, it was like
'cause-
in caveman days, like usually the women would pick their mate by the guys with the deepest voice because they would seem to be more manly or whatever.
no,
Good
that wasn't
fathers, I think
it.
it was.
Good
was,
fathers?
Yeah, it was something like.
Yeah, like you gotta
Max had
explain
it.
that
It was-
one.
Yeah.
They thought people with deep voice were good fathers, but now
Right.
they have new stats that say people with deep voices have bad sperm.
Right.
Just to be clear, this is my voice for the rest of
That's how Max normally talks.
and the rest of my life.
Yeah, Max has ditched his fake podcast voice.
He's letting
Real
loose.
voice.
Oh boy.
Speaking of deep radio voices, did you know Sirius Johnson on NPR is leaving radio?
I don't know who Tyrius Johnson
This
is,
is-
which I feel like is going to make me look bad.
This is a hard right turn.
Satirius
All right.
Johnson.
Does anyone besides Max know who this is?
No.
Damn it! I wish we had a live poll for this show.
For a second, I thought about
Throw it on
faking
Twitter.
it. For a second, I
Throw it
thought
on
about
Twitter.
faking it because I'm like, well, I could pretend like I listen to NPR more than I do.
After this podcast, we're going to listen to the smooth voice of Satirius Johnson. He's
Okay.
just
Oh.
got an incredible radio voice.
Okay.
Possibly the
that
best.
that
So-
totally leads me into
The back
what
to
the
the
hell
show.
went wrong with my life on college football Saturday. Now I'm just watching this reality dating show about a bunch of naked people and missing football. What the hell?
It's football's on the TV. I don't know if you've noticed.
yeah,
Yeah,
you got
you know, I'm
Richard
just
Petty
saying.
here, right here.
Instead of watching, the Ohio State game, we're just watching a bunch of dicks flop around on my TV. What the hell?
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, there's some dicks on the Ohio State football team too.
Yeah, well, not fully nude, naked.
I mean, they're flopping
What
around
if it
though.
was?
nobody wants to watch naked football, Harrison. Literally nobody. That's
What if
the
it
worst
was?
idea.
James,
I bet somebody does.
you've
No one.
heard of the lingerie football league, right?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Or what is it called?
Yeah, it's lingerie football.
That's like the most sexist thing that's ever existed on
Oh,
TV ever.
whoa! Is the XFL like valid for us to watch for reality TV?
I think that the XFL is an actual football league.
It doesn't exist
Kinda.
anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore, but I think it was an actual football league.
Okay.
I think didn't Donald Trump start the XFL or something?
Oh,
It was
I don't know.
WWE.
Damn.
It's WWE.
No,
It was McMahon.
It's Vince
I think
McMahon.
Donald
that-
Trump was involved with a different football league.
Oh, he's involved with a different football league.
The
Yep.
Mexican Football League.
I saw this ESPN documentary, but it was in the 80s.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of then.
Basically, the guy who did the documentary clearly thinks Donald Trump's an idiot. And this was, a few years ago before he was, trying to run for president.
Before he was a verifiable idiot.
Before
yes.
it was well known.
Well,
Yeah.
clearly could have been a verified idiot just based on The
we
Apprentice.
watched the show. We know it was terrible.
I am still impressed that we covered The Apprentice in this podcast in a pre-Donald Trump for president world.
Insane.
And it was only on for like 12 years.
We
Go
did
back
do
and listen to
We did
that.
Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh, yeah.
Next level Apprentice.
So my immediate hot take with the show was like, okay, we're gonna see these people naked, and the guy just makes these awful comments about these girls, and I'm like, is this show just objectifying everyone and just like really being like selfish and like terrible? It's like, oh, well, yeah, that's exactly what the show is about. And
Basically.
Yeah.
That guy's never going to get a girl again after being on that show.
Now, everyone knows he's not a player now. What do you mean?
I think he's proved to everyone that he's not a player.
I think he gave DJs everywhere a worse
But-
name now.
The, like,
Nah, DJ Pauly D already dragged them down.
Well, that's fair. I mean, nobody knows him, really. Aside from MTV people, which
Hey,
are
But
nobody.
you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, because we've talked about it on this show.
Okay.
I saw DJ Pauly D in Vegas. So.
No, you're a goddamn idiot. Why would you give that asshole
nice. My God. The
All right.
show.
The show.
money? No, you guys got no hot
All right,
takes down
Harrison,
there?
what's your hot take?
What's my hot take? I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't really have a good hot take.
Would
in
you
this
watch the
one.
show again?
I mean, I'm not going to watch the show again. And
And why not?
I thought that one of the craziest things about the show was like when the dude spent the first half of the show just like criticizing these women's bodies basically and saying a bunch of ridiculous shit. But then as soon as he walks out and he's naked, the girls are like, oh, damn, that guy's amazing looking. Like, I didn't.
They did start laughing, though, and it was unclear why they were laughing, and then it was just because they were attracted to him.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was just because they were like, oh, you see.
So
how
that's
big
why
that
all the
guy's dick
girls
is,
that
laugh
whatever.
huge
at me.
dick flopping
Yeah.
around, that's all
Yeah.
it was.
That was
Yeah.
definitely a big part of it.
Right. Man,
too
I can't
real.
get that zipper graphic out of my head.
Oh,
God.
I think you have to explain the zipper graphic now that you brought it
Now
up.
that you brought it up. No one else was going to bring it up.
Oh, man. I don't know. So, there's 6 dudes, right? It was 6
6.
on the male part of the naked piece. And, like, half of them are circumcised, half of them are not. And then they got to bring
Whoa.
some bar science into it. So they show this graphic, and it's just a penis with a roll-up zipper, and it just zips it up. And they're like, well, actually, here's what this means.
Zip.
There was
that's
only
how it works,
one
James.
circumcised penis
I don't know about yours, but
The bar sign said the lady's like uncircumcised.
No, I thought they said opposite.
Nope.
No, they want the
I thought they were
extra
saying-
stimulation.
Well, they
Right,
said that was easier to
uncircumcised.
give.
Uncircumcised.
Oh, sorry,
orgasm
that's
or
right.
whatever.
Yeah. Heard wrong.
More likely to orgasm, I think.
Was
So
their bar science?
That's a good deal.
good deal. It's just like, and I think that James said this while we were watching it, but basically what they've done is they kind of, the guy or the girl makes some horrible comments about all these naked people, and then they roll this little segment that's like some pseudoscience about like why this person isn't actually being a dick, but like they're just wired that way genetically to make you feel a little bit better about watching the show.
Yup.
Oh, yeah, it's totally about feeling better about watching the show.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
I got a question. How popular is this show? Is this a new show?
This is new.
Is it a net new, like this just aired kind of thing?
They've aired 5 episodes so far.
Holy crap! I wonder what the ratings are like. Well, firstly, when it's on TV, I have so many questions. When the show's on TV, is
I can't
it still
answer
fully
any
naked?
of these questions.
Why don't you know the details?
It's on
I'm
Channel
100%
4.
Sure, in Britain,
Right.
it's just like that, uncensored.
It's just like
'Cause
on the BBC, just
the-
fucking
the-
full
Channel
British
four.
accurate.
rules around censorship, they're way less strict about nudity stuff
Right.
and way more strict about violent stuff.
Right.
Like, some, action movie where people's heads are getting blown off, they're
That's not
like, that's
happening.
not allowed, but like a bunch of dicks, good to go.
Okay. Well,
The
Interesting.
first episode had 1.79 million viewers.
Is that good or bad?
It's probably pretty good.
I mean,
for-
yeah, UK, that's not...
Second
Because it's
episode
only
had
airing there.
1.72 million viewers, and the other ones, 3
Wait.
is down to 1.44. I don't know what happened.
What do you mean?
4 and 5 are TBA.
I can't imagine this show getting old after a second viewing.
At the first viewing, I'm like, okay.
so like, do you think in like the UK people are just like sitting around like with all their buds like we are, just like watching this and just like, oh yeah, critiquing?
No, what's happening is there's a couple at home,
Right.
and then they're watching the show, and they're also judging all the genitalia.
and then they go
of the
bang.
people. What?
And then they go bang at the end of the show.
Maybe they get a little horny. I don't know.
Or you're just really turned off from all the naked people. You're like, oh god, let's just go
I
to
don't know.
sleep.
It's just if people like to judge people, this is a great show to judge people.
It's a very judgy show, which is probably why I don't like it, because I don't like doing
That
that.
vagina, ugly. It's ugly vagina.
Chris, did you have a favorite
interesting.
vagina on the show?
I'm going through the Wikipedia, and in episode 4, apparently they reuse contestants.
Oh, because
So-
they can't find anybody to be on the show.
Probably.
Most likely. Yeah.
But like she had previously been rejected by Daryl in episode 2 is one of the comments.
I was wondering if they would have
someone
like.
rejected by Daryl. Was she back in a box, or was she?
Yeah,
one of the
she was
main-
back in a box.
and she get kicked
I
off.
feel
again, or
like-
what?
I think.
I
Oh,
feel like
man.
after you get rejected in the box, you have to be the person who's picking.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
It's basically Bachelor rules.
Bachelor rules,
Do
yeah.
you think that if you were the one not in a box, you could be on the show again, but be in the box? Because
maybe.
So another thing that they had was like they showed them on the date and then did a post date thing, and neither of the couples lasted at all.
Yeah. Well, the first one, it seemed like one of them was like, "Yeah, I had a pretty good time." The other one's like, "Oh, I didn't think you were having a good time." That was kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
And then-
Like,
The
oh, I guess
crazy DJ guy was like,
Yeah.
you weren't that into me."
Although
she did not seem that into
I was
him.
watching the clips, it didn't seem like she was that
Well,
into him.
We got to talk about his shirt.
Oh, the
was
shirt.
bad.
He should have stayed naked.
Yeah.
Imagine
definitely-
a
The first thing that
monochrome
she's-
Hawaiian shirt.
The first thing that she says when she walks in is like, "Nice shirt," and he's like, "You like it?" And she's like, "No." So crazy.
Ooh, boy.
To be fair, I didn't really like her dress that much either.
They
Like,
they
it contra-
matched.
Like it contrasted with all the tattoos, and then he was wearing a matching shirt. And
She had too many tattoos for me. There were some big time tattoos
She
going
had
on
a
with
neck
her. I
tattoo?
think the
That's
neck
so bad.
tattoo is pretty serious. Yeah.
that's too much.
Then on the second set of people, they get there and they're just like, "Yeah, it was great. We had a really good time together. We got drunk." And they're just like, "Hey, so have you guys been seeing each other?" It's like, "Well, we live like super far apart, so it was kind of impossible for us to date." Like, what was the point of this show then?
No,
To
exactly.
judge people.
But
That's
it's-
literally the only point of the show.
But like dating naked does the same thing though.
Right,
They're just
right.
like on an island together for longer.
right.
like,
It's
they
like,
don't
oh, there's
even
this
break
girl
up.
from New York and this bartender in LA. Yeah, like that's going to work out.
But like
Dumbasses.
I wanted to come back to like dating naked because at start was like, oh, it's just like dating naked. Like dating naked, it tries to make it like a normal dating show, except
Right.
for the fact they're naked. This show is like almost nothing like a normal date. Like most of it is just making comments about the other
It's
person's
just
naked,
naked.
body. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
strange.
No, you're totally right. Like when I said that, I was a little bit unfair.
Well,
it's
it's
just
more-
the naked piece. It's just a bunch of people in a room,
Well,
naked, judging each other.
There's naked and there's dating in the show.
That's true. The
but
dating
it's-
is completely separate.
But yeah, like they have a little 2-minute clip of a guy in a bad shirt on the date after.
2 minutes. It was way less than 2 minutes.
I feel like it was like close to 2 minutes.
It's more like the dating game, I feel. Whereas,
That's
like,
true.
instead of
Whoa.
asking
Yes.
questions, it was like you get to see their genitalia.
Here's
That was it.
here's my-
Harrison is
Here's
just
my-
rolling around on the couch
Harrison
over
is
here
so pumped.
with
Headed up. He's
excitement.
so fired up.
maybe everyone talk all at the same time.
We got that Harrison hot take incoming.
I'm looking at the waveform and there's 5 people all at once. Okay. So, one of my favorite parts of the show is when they get like the people that they're judging to like answer a question. So you think it's going to be like dating game where it's like, you know, hey, we're going to ask these people questions and then you're going to hear how they respond to it and then make a decision on if you like them or not based on how they're responding. But no, what happens is they ask them a question and then they say something and what they say is irrelevant because they turn to the guy and they're just like, so how'd you like how her voice sounds? And you're like, it's nothing to, like, it's all this, it's again, it's just such a superficial thing. It's nothing to do with like anything material. It's just like, how do you like how her voice sounds?
Well, it's the same question for every person too. It's say what you like most about your body, say what you like least about your body.
right.
But they're totally just saying like, okay, now you can judge them on their voice as well as their physical appearance.
Yeah, but it's like they could have been like, all right, what's your ideal first date or something like
But I
that,
think-
and it would have been a little bit more palatable. I
I think the entire point of the show is what if we based dating entirely around just, you know, caveman brain, that reptile brain.
It's
Oh.
very superficial.
I get it, and the whole concept is like I'm gonna pick somebody based on how they look naked, and then see if it works out with the personality, which is usually the opposite of how it works.
Yep.
But
I feel like
they'd already seen them naked and evaluated them. They could have given a little insight into the personality before the date.
That would make it
Yeah.
more interesting for sure.
I can't imagine any of these things are going to go over well.
Especially not when they live super far away
Yeah,
and
it's
can't
like-
date at all.
Yeah. Is anyone surprised that DJ Player just didn't try to get that threesome going with those 2 girls at the end?
I'm
I
surprised.
thought it was going to happen. You don't know that it didn't happen.
That's
Like, here's
true.
the thing. The woman he didn't pick was definitely super into him.
Oh yeah.
So it was all about if the one he did pick was into it. That was the only question.
And he's like, I'm terrible at reading vibes. Yeah, it's because you're too busy judging everybody, you asshole. You can't even read
He
basics.
judged real hard.
Oh, it was insane.
Rob, do we have a hot take? Can we define hot take? Is that
Do you want to define hot take or do you want a hot take?
Hot take is a take that's hot.
okay? Rob, give us
Max's
your
dictionary.
take that's hot.
I don't know if I have that hot a take. I was pretty interested in the fact that, as we've already talked about, like the whole premise of the show is just about the objectification of the people, and that there's really nothing else to the whole show. It's not just a dating show that has this weird twist on it. It's really almost not a dating show at all, and that's not what I thought it was going to be. That wasn't a very hot take.
No, yeah. I mean, there definitely was like nothing to do with dating at this point. It was like you rate all these women, pick number 1. It's like hot or not, and then let's spend like so long on this.
Like,
If this show was on American TV, that would totally be. I just imagine like a huge ass graphics, like you got to decide hot or not, and there's like 2 buttons.
There's a
and
hot
stuff.
show called Hot or Not. At one
God
point.
damn it! Fucking.
Oh,
we
what if they had this show, but they like let people do the American Idol thing where they vote with their phone?
Oh my god.
God.
That's the worst.
Also, the American Idol thing where it's like a 2-hour show on one night and then a 1-hour show the next night and all that.
But here's the thing: enough people in the world must love doing this shit, right? Like clearly, I don't like judging, but like American Idol, super popular, like all these shows where you just judge people based off whatever the criteria is.
But-
in this particular case, it happens to be naked. But like, you know what I mean? People just fundamentally like judging. Is that a safe call?
Well, people definitely like judging.
Oh yeah.
There's no question about it. I think that American Idol is a little bit more palatable to me than this because at least you're like judging them based on, you know, some talent that they've worked to develop. And this one is just like, how do you look naked?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, I mean, I guess that could be a
You could
talent
work
you've
on it,
developed as
yeah.
well.
I mean,
and that's why they have
you know,
bodybuilder competitions.
you're not getting
and
that
beauty,
six-pack, you
beauty
know, just by
pageants.
not doing anything.
You know, like to me, like this isn't that much different than like a beauty pageant in kind of what the thing is, but it feels a lot worse to me.
Should beauty pageants be naked?
I
Because
don't,
here's the thing:
maybe.
why are they not? What's the difference? You're just objectifyingly judging everything, anyways. Why are you judging?
well, I
the
think the
clothes?
part of it is how you look in the clothes,
I guess
because like in the way that like in which they've defined beauty is kind of like
how you wear or whatever.
yeah.
Based on clothing.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
really-
it's a combination, right? It's like how you look in the clothing, I think.
So like when they have the bikini part of the segment, like is it still like, oh, how do you look in the bikini, or is it like how good are you at looking like almost naked?
well,
And
I mean,
everyone's just trying to fill in the almost.
well, here's the
naked
thing.
piece.
It's
James,
gotta,
it's all
it's
about
got to be on
their-
network TV in the
Yeah.
U.S. So like,
If everyone's actually naked, you're not getting Steve Harvey to host your beauty
but
pageant.
Steve
I don't
Harvey
know,
would
man.
definitely be loving to do it. Are you kidding me?
No,
He's basically doing this on the Family Feud anyways.
But Family Feud, like, that's the whole point. Like, Family Feud is doing all these ridiculous things, but clearly trying to be like, we're still a family
It's still
show,
palatable,
good.
yeah.
So that's the thing. You put them in the bikini, you're like, oh, this is still a good family entertainment. You can have the kids watch this. Steve Harvey's here being ridiculous. It's
The
all
losers
good.
get dumped in
but
Jell-O.
as soon as they're actually naked, then it's like, oh, this is
I
an
mean,
outrage.
would you
Totally.
think they would get better ratings if HBO ran these things and instead of bikinis,
no,
they were naked?
I don't think so. It's just like it becomes like, at least in the U.S., it becomes a little bit socially unacceptable to watch it. I think at that point.
I don't think so. I think you get
Oh,
more
it
people.
absolutely does.
Yeah, I agree. Because here's the thing, we're all sitting around watching it. You walk into the room, and you're like, "What the fuck are you watching, guys? What's going on here?" 100%. You're immediately
yeah, but
judging
eventually
us
that
based on the
stigma
show.
will go away. You're like, oh, you're watching the beauty pageant.
No, if we're watching, Chris walks in, he's like, oh,
But-
can I get in on this? This is great.
You
Can
know?
I get in on
Right.
this? Has a totally different implication. I feel like when it's a naked show.
This isn't a matter of watching people naked is fucked up. It's more a matter of like, man, the American beauty pageant is pretty fucked up.
That is true.
Yeah. No. Also, yes.
I mean, we have a friend that does
Formerly
beard
owned
competitions.
by Mr. Trump.
So
No surprise from the man that loves the judge.
Miss Universe was a Trump organization thing.
Yep.
So like a lot of people are judged. There's like the beard competition, as I just mentioned, that our friend goes to. There's muscle like competitions. There's just all these competitions that are just subjective.
That's true.
Like who has the best muscles? I don't know. That seems pretty subjective.
But I think that it's the way in which this show is set up, where like the people are standing naked in front of them and they're making comments like
Oh yeah,
directly
that's
to them.
That's
because
that's what I really wasn't expecting out of this show.
Yeah.
like I didn't know what to expect. It was like in terms of there's just a dating game, but everyone's gonna be naked.
Mhm.
Okay,
Beca-
well it's just
yeah.
like it could have just been the dating game, but instead you get to see everything and ask them questions.
because like the Miss America pageant is a little bit more palatable because they're not making the comments directly about the girls on TV in the moment. They're going off and deliberating and then just announcing the people that are moving on. They're not like insulting people, right?
That is an element of that show that is definitely a little hard to take because like they're saying all these things. The girls and the guys that are up there naked can hear everything they're saying.
I was waiting the
Oh,
whole show
yeah.
for that board to roll up and one of the girls or guys just be crying like when the thing rolls up. I'm
But
sure.
it was really interesting. Once the faces were shown, things clearly changed on both sides. Like, DJ guy making that comment about like, oh, I realize I now have been mean to these people and then
Yeah.
it was bad. But like the guys, when you couldn't see their faces, they were all just standing with their arms on the side. Once
Yeah.
you see their faces, they started putting their hands over their junk.
Yeah.
And that was just a really interesting kind of change for them. It's like, I think she's already seen that quite a bit. I'm not sure what covering up is going to do at this
Rob,
point.
that is an excellent observation. I just want to say.
Thank you, Max.
I feel like the judging got a lot less harsh as well.
Oh, for sure. Like it clearly, on both sides, like the
Because it makes people out of it.
relationship
Yeah.
of how they were interacting with each other definitely changed
It's
a
a lot harder to look someone in the face and insult them.
It'd be like, your labia reminds you of a cheeseburger.
yeah.
Your nipples are too big. I can't. It's just like.
Oh yeah, he was all about the
insane.
ratio of like
everything.
the
The butt
nipples
crack,
to
the
the-
nipple
Ni-
size,
The nipple
the
to
color,
areola
the color too.
ratio.
The
He's like, I gotta vote this one out because the color's just not good enough.
The
You're like,
non-player.
oh
But
my
like,
God.
here's the thing: when you're that guy and you're set up in that situation to do that, there's not a lot else you can do because like all the information you have is on how they look, and they keep asking all these questions about whether or not you like how they look,
Right.
and then you're asked to eliminate people based on how they look.
Yeah, and
so
they're
like, yeah, the guy's a douche, and like the girl came off as less douchey.
for sure. So I
But,
think
like-
it depends how you handle it. I think
You can handle it better.
there's no way to come across not at all, but like she did a much better job of seeming reasonable about it than he did.
No, and like there were like a couple times where like she kicked somebody off, and she made some excuse or whatever, and like
which
it
was all
just what a
bullshit in the
bullshit
end because
excuse,
she
you
went with
know?
the guy with the 6-pack and broad shoulders. Like, She was all this bullshit about
He
like
was the
other
ol-
stuff, and now
he
it's just
was
one
the
that she
only
went.
one with a six-pack, though.
Right.
She was talking to the beginning. She's like, "Oh, I love guys with chest hair. It makes them seem more manly." And then the dude that she picked was like totally waxed chest.
And then again with the other like larger guy, she's like, "Oh yeah, like I actually kind of like a guy with a little, a little bit of like stuff there."
Right.
And then so I could like cuddle and whatever. And she's like, "Oh, let me just pick the hairless 6-pack guy."
Right. It's just- but
Just
like,
so you're an idiot.
so we should say that we knew about halfway through both of these which person she's gonna pick, like at least halfway through.
Well, the guy, like the one he clearly liked the most when he only saw all 6 from the waist down was the one he ended up picking because
Yeah.
he mentioned about her tattoos, and then that's the one he picked. That was
Yeah.
very interesting.
And then on the other side, when they roll up the thing and they start showing all the guys' junk, she's like, "I think I know that guy." It's like, I recognize that penis,
I mean-
and it was not the same person at all.
But she picked
But she
him.
still picked him.
Something I really like about this format of the show is there's tons of like great opportunities for like huge twists, like oh, it's a butterface or something.
Right? No, like I was expecting some crazy twists to happen, like when they start pulling up sometimes, and it totally didn't. I don't know.
Yeah. I was really expecting the show to just be the dating game, but they were naked and not this judge fest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was tough. Like, oh, why'd you kick her off? I don't know. I thought the other girls were hotter. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was like
what is a
everyone
good
was
way to
like
answer
bullshit
that?
excuses.
No,
like
the toes. It was
the
all
toe.
the toes.
Do you think he actually didn't like her toe, or he just made up an excuse
Had to say
to boot her?
something.
That's a good question.
Because that came out to me, I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Like, you're gonna boot her because of a toe that
Like I don't know how
looks
you
fine?
really decide at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a booty person. Just pick the one with the like smallest booty. Like, that wasn't hard, right?
That's true. Speaking of booty, I also did like that. Every time someone gets eliminated, they like come out and hug the contestant.
Oh,
And then as they walk away, the camera is like ass shot following them walking off the stage.
and there was also a good like round 360 shot that they would do afterwards too.
Oh, that's right.
So if you really wanted to see these people naked, you get to see the whole thing.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Oh, there's also not a lot that like I feel so the production value is really good for the show. There's not a lot that are doing it. I feel like make people look good. Like you're just on stage lights, just bare ass naked. Like that's a kind of a tough situation for a lot of folks. I feel like
I
you gotta
mean-
be pretty good looking to like look
For
half
sure.
decent on HD TV.
I mean, like, there's
Yeah,
there's definitely some makeup, but like, I definitely don't think that they picked all models. I think they picked people kind of like varying levels of attractiveness. I mean, like, there's probably like a bar, but like,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I actually liked about the show is like there's definitely a bar. I agree with you, but it wasn't like they were all supermodels.
yeah, it's not like it's like the real world or
I
something.
mean, yeah, I give
know?
you there was variety, but like I just think the percentage of people that are willing to go on the show, and then the people that like would actually look half decent on the show is really small.
Yeah,
Which
I
again
can't
leads us into why they're reusing people.
Sure, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't like these 6 guys until they went on a date,
Well,
and then like
So every week it's just like, come on, Blue,
I'm
you
sure
can do
that-
it. This is your week.
Yeah, it's like the challenge. They
That
come
would
back every
actually make
week
the
and then
show-
try and get in.
I was gonna say that would actually make the show like more enticing to watch week over week.
So it's just like Naked Bachelor, basically.
Oh, maybe.
I'm sure next season they'll have more people because more people have watched.
maybe you have less.
There's
So when you apply for the show, I guess you just have to send in some photos of you naked to this TV station, or like a video or something.
Just hope the mailman isn't a
Or maybe,
creeper.
maybe you send photos with her clothes on, but then you have to go in for an in-person interview.
That'd be an insane job trying to pick people for that thing. Oh my
I don't know how many people they really got. Like, you can't be that many.
I wonder if we could find like when they were the job application, like the job postings, like we have this new show. We
Should-
need people to help us pick the naked people. To
Should we apply for this show?
If it wasn't in Britain, it'd be an idea.
Max,
You probably
Max
need a-
can.
Max, you need a work visa to go work on the show.
Yep.
Try explaining that one. But here's the thing, like there's
Wait,
clearly no shortage of people doing porn.
Here's
So
a-
like this is easier than that, and like you're doing less.
Oh yeah,
That is true.
So like
people who just want to be famous and get like there were definitely multiple bartenders on that, and they're just
Right.
like bartending because they want to get famous. Like, oh, I can go on this TV and be naked. All right, sign
Right.
me up.
Which is the reason why people go on reality TV, and period, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Rob, you said I need a work visa, but actually, it's much easier for Canadians to get British Commonwealth work
Oh.
Is that true post Brexit?
visas. Maybe.
We'll see.
Just saying. Just putting that out there.
Well,
All
maybe
right.
we just need the American version of this show.
Oh.
Who would
Not-
be the host
So-
of the American version
Oh.
of the show?
Chris Lorenz.
Oh, that'd be a great host.
Yeah, sure. Because I don't have to judge anyone.
No,
You
it's
have
great.
to ask all the questions. Be like, look at this penis. What do you think of this?
That's fine. I can do that.
What
Okay.
channel does the show go on? Like Cinemax?
Yeah.
Cinemax
No,
is
it-
the most
it's
likely.
on. It's on Channel 4. It's on like.
no, he's
No.
saying the American
Oh,
one.
here?
American.
Cinemax or Showtime.
Yeah,
Mm.
for sure.
It's definitely not HBO because HBO is
It's
too
not
good
meeting
for
the
it,
bar,
and it's
right? Oh,
not
yeah.
on any normal TV because
Amazon
You can't show it.
Prime.
yeah.
Oh, direct to Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it might be a streaming show.
Oh God.
All right. So,
So I had one more comment about the
Alright,
show
yeah,
because I think you're trying to move on from
no,
the
no,
show.
no. I was gonna ask a question.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So, the host of this show reminded me a lot of two previous hosts that we've had on shows from this. Both the host of Married at First Sight, the psychologist woman,
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper,
Oh, that's
One.
true.
Classic Dr.
and
Pepper.
two, the person. Oh, who is the other one? Shit, I think I just lost it.
Do you remember the show?
Amy?
Oh yeah, from Tool Academy, the therapist person from Tool Academy.
Oh, sure.
Totally reminds me
So
of
you're
her
just saying
too.
this girl reminds me of a therapist.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. She kind of is though, isn't she?
No.
Oh, she's
I
not
don't
some
know.
kind
I
of.
assume she was some C-list British celebrity.
Oh well,
I don't know.
I have no idea.
she was talking at the beginning how she was really excited to host the show because she had dated both guys and seen guys and girls naked in bed or something.
So the American host has to also be bi.
Right.
Who's famous and bi?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh wait, who was in Vampire the movie?
Is Vampire the movie?
Twilight.
Oh,
That lady is bi.
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
There you go.
And she's, her career is not what it used to be. Maybe she's available.
Maybe.
I don't know. Do you want somebody funny to make comments, or is it just you want the therapist to like?
Obviously, I want Steve Harvey. Like, there's no question about
Obviously.
I don't
Steve
think
Harvey's
Steve
the-
Harvey's bi though.
that. Steve Harvey's fine.
Maybe.
Maybe you get Cedric the
Can
Entertainer.
you imagine Steve Harvey's face
Is
when
Cedric
you
the
just roll
Entertainer
up the
dead?
guys and you just
I have no
see,
idea
like,
if
all
he's
the
dead.
dicks?
I think Cedric is dead.
Cedric the Entertainer?
He's dead.
No, I don't know.
I think
Max
so.
is the one saying he's dead.
We're just
I don't know.
Making up shit now. Is that?
Hold on.
You heard it here first.
Max is checking.
Like,
I maybe think of Bernie something.
Bernie Mac is definitely dead.
Bernie Mac is dead. Cedric the Entertainer is not dead.
Yeah.
Never mind.
False alarm.
Rest in
That
peace,
was
Bernie
sexist.
Mac. Okay, Chris, you had a question?
yeah. All right. So Harrison, question: if you started dating a girl and like after like a month or two, she says, "Oh, I was on this show where I was completely naked," does that affect? Do you break up with her?
I think it kind of depends on the circumstance. I don't think I'd break up with her just for being on the show. It would make me question her like decision making abilities a little bit, but I don't know.
Has Harrison already seen her naked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris.
I feel like it matters more if she was like the main person or the person behind the glass.
I don't think it matters either way. I think it's a bad move to go on the show either way.
I
but-
do think the main person's definitely worse, due to maybe just the editing and the judging. There's a lot of judging.
It makes you seem like a worse person for sure.
yeah.
Like there's none of the like main characters, if we can call them that I'm like, that's a good person. I'm just like, I hate both of you.
But she was also 20. You meet her at like 27, 28.
That was the other thing that drove me up a fucking wall in this show. Fucking 18-year-olds, you kidding me? Naked
There-
teenagers? Get
there-
out of here.
there wasn't-
UK. What are you guys doing?
There wasn't
Get your shit
18-year-old
together.
show.
Just get all your shit and get it together, cause it's a disaster.
Well, you just saw a teenager naked.
Yeah, it was fucking
I-
crazy Saturday. I was trying to watch some football, watching naked teenagers now. Son of a bitch.
It happens.
It's
Hot
not
take.
like a Seinfeld's level. This person's perfect except for X type dealio.
No.
Tractor
it's
Story?
just a normal person you've gone on like 4 or 5 dates with. He's like, yeah, well, I was on the show, just so you know.
It's not a deal breaker.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's an immediate deal breaker. But it might call some things into question.
It's a mark in the negative ledger.
I think so.
but it doesn't necessarily outweigh the
So-
positive, depending what else is going
So,
on.
like, is it better than if you said she was like in porn?
No,
is
that's
por- is
that
porn
might
is
be
way
probably.
worse.
I mean, I think porn's probably worse.
But there's probably more. I mean, there's probably more people that have watched this show than watched that specific porn video.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I guess. I guess it depends on why you have a problem with it. Like, do you have a
I
problem
don't
with it
have a problem
because?
with it. I was just curious.
I'm
I
di-
was just bringing up a topic of conversation here.
But like, I'm like not you specifically. I'm just like, if you have a
It
problem
sounds
with
like
with
a very
lot of
personal
people.
story, Chris. Would you like to elaborate?
Guys.
You're on a couch. You can say anything here.
Did you know that a penguin, when
Fucking penguin story. You kidding
When-
me?
Oh yeah.
when it meets someone, it stays with that person forever?
Why is a penguin with a person?
That's what he said. I'm quoting from the episode.
Oh
How
my
did that guy
god.
know that, but he didn't know that they keep the pearl or pebble forever? He's like, oh, they do. I didn't know that. Were you kidding me? You read the first half of that tidbit?
Maybe he did. He was just trying to seem interested in her story.
Oh, maybe.
Come
Smooth.
on.
He is a playa, as
Yeah,
we know.
He was the guy in the box, so maybe he
Oh,
is a player.
oh, that was the guy in the box that said
That was
that.
the guy in
Oh,
the-
god
that was the
damn it.
second date.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk about the guys in the box for a second.
Please do.
Do you have an advantage if like the box veil comes up and you're just super hard?
I was kind of wondering if that was gonna happen or not.
Are there rules against that?
What do you mean
Like-
rules against that?
I don't know. Maybe like they can't show full erections
What,
in
you,
UK TV.
you
I
just,
don't know.
you just get thrown off the show if you get an erection.
mean-
Well, no, maybe they just like they
Oh.
recut it and like, okay, you need to calm down a little bit, give
But
you
I
a minute,
mean-
and then like they re-go.
I can't
Because
imagine.
nobody was,
Would they
and a
blur
bunch of
that?
naked people all over the place.
I'm curious, would they blur that?
No.
Well, I don't know what's allowed
Well,
on
I
UK
don't.
TV.
Yeah, I don't know what's allowed
Yeah,
on
like,
UK TV.
would that change the rules for UK TV? I don't
That's
know.
who knows?
That could be a thing. Like, you're allowed to see people naked, but not.
But maybe it's like a strategy. It's like you just do it and see if the girl's into it or not. Like,
Well, I think it would depend on if you're a grower or a shower, Max.
What's the difference?
What do you mean? What's the difference?
I'm not describing what a grower and a shower is on
Oh
this
man, are we
podcast.
crossing into the X-rated category on this particular cast?
Man, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm not 100% in like mental control of that. Like I can't just say, "Yo, you gotta settle down." It just kind of happens.
just let it happen.
Wait, they're settling down or they're getting hard?
I
I'm
mean,
just-
one is
Either.
more predictable than the other.
So I'm gonna say that probably if you're on a stage with all these stage lights and camera people and all
It's
this
very
stuff going
warm.
on, I think it's probably not a very conducive environment.
that's definitely the thing that you don't see or think about is like the 50 crew members who are working this thing.
Oh, that's
you're also
true.
standing in front of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think there's a better chance of you like being more aroused when you like when you're the main person walking out to see the last two than when
Right.
you're in the box not looking at anything.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you'd have to really try, like, to have that thing come up. You're looking at like some blue screen, and you're like, "Oh, well."
I guarantee it's happened on at least one episode. Guaranteed.
Well, keep watching them and find out.
Harrison, can you do some research and get back to us?
I cannot.
You know, honestly, that episode ended, and I was like, the pacing was good. There was no, find out after the commercial or anything.
I
was
they
like-
they did avoid a lot of the normal stuff that we typically hate about these shows.
I was
Yeah.
never bored. The pacing
kept
was
it
good.
moving.
I could watch another episode. Just
I
gonna
have
put
to
that out
disagree wholeheartedly.
I can't
I
because
have
of
to
principle.
disagree
I'm with
so
Chris.
hard.
At some point, Chris just goes, "Are they only doing 2 sets of people in this show?" Like
It was
I think
like
that-
40. It's like 40 minutes for 2 sets of people. There's not that you see them naked and that's it. Like there's way too much.
I'm with
like
Chris. I was good after the first half of the show. I'm like, okay, I got the whole.
no, it
I
just
got the
needs
whole
to be
thing.
sped up more. It needs to be half the time.
I just
But-
think it depends if you're into judging people, and if you are, then the
Well,
show is for
I
you.
mean,
And if you're
again,
not,
yeah.
or maybe on the fence, it's you know.
Again, I'm
I'm from
not
New
in
York.
for the
Of course,
judging.
I'm into judging people.
There you go. See, we got one.
like you have to draw it out a little bit to kind of sell the concept because that moment when that thing slides up and you see everyone's face is supposed to be a big moment in the show. So there's got to be a lot of build up in order for that to be a big moment.
Yeah, but they should cut the whole voice thing out. If
the
it's not
voice
gonna
thing
be
is
full.
real dumb.
You can at least add another set of people.
What if you're allowed to answer the questions before they show the face?
Oh,
So,
interesting.
like, with the penis round, you can ask a question, and then you get like one answer.
Well, if they
James,
turn it,
did you ever think you would say the words penis rounds?
This show is insane. What can I say?
this our podcast is insane.
It's also not gonna lie.
All right, so where does this go? Top, middle, third. Rob, you got to take.
I'm gonna go bottom third. I don't think there's a lot of rewatchability on the show.
Okay, so I will agree with you that there's no rewatchability, but was it lower third when you compare it to all the first watches?
I know Chris always says I'm too nice on the shows. I've liked a lot of the shows.
That's true.
At least been like, oh, I could watch that again. I
That's
feel like
true.
this one, I'm like, I don't really need to watch this again. I'd rather watch Real Dating Naked.
That's true.
I mean, I'd rather watch the real one. For me, I think it's middle third. Like, it was kind of boring, I wouldn't watch it again, but there's so many other shows that are just so bad. This one just wasn't bad.
It was definitely not as boring as some other ones, but I think I've got to go bottom third because I can't ever see myself watching it again. It might have been middle third in terms of like first watch, but I can't imagine watching it again.
I'm top third, A, because of the novelty, and B, for reasons previously stated.
Damn, very
Max
surprising.
loves dicks. That's the reason.
Max and Max.
Does this predate Harambe?
I don't think it does.
All right, James.
Yeah, it's line for me between bottom and middle for pretty much the same reasons. Middle, mostly because first watch, was somewhat entertaining, but then bottom because I'll never ever watch the show again.
Well, you've mellowed a lot from when we first turned
Yeah.
on the mics. You were real hot and not liking the
You
show.
know, just saying. There was some interesting elements of the show. It was something different. Maybe it's just because it's on UK versus here. So like it gets a couple of points for that. But everything else about the show, I hate all the people on the show. I never want to see any of them ever again, ever.
So if those girls
yeah.
came up to you and be like, "Hey,"
I don't want to see anybody that's on that show. It was horrible.
I thought some of them were quite attractive.
It doesn't
You're
matter.
done?
They're all
There
not
are
people that I
attractive,
want to
terrible
do it.
people out
They're all
there.
judgmental pieces of shit.
not the people in the boxes.
Yeah,
You
they're
think they were-
equally bad.
They're equally as bad as the judgmental people.
Well, they're flaming
judge-
piles of shit. They're just pieces of shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
because they're
You
comfortable
got
with their
you
body.
got a whole
and-
pile and it's on fire versus
Mhm.
just the single piece.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's a
I'm,
piece.
I'm
And then
clarifying
you got big old pile of shit.
what kind of
that's on
shit we're
fire.
talking about here.
Big flaming pile of shit. I don't know how much more detail you need.
I mean, I would definitely recommend maybe like watch one episode or something. It's definitely interesting novelty wise. Maybe speed it up to like 1.5x.
Do we need to do more British shows? Like, is part of the reason why we like it not the actual show itself, but just the different conventions in British shows?
I mean, I think we're giving it a more positive review because it's so different.
We
If
should.
this was like normal, like regular ones we watch, we probably would give it a very bad review.
We should research some more British shows and see if there's anything super crazy out there.
Or
Was
if we have
that- was
any
that-
British fans, please suggest a better show than this one. Because
There you
I
go.
gotta imagine you got something good.
Was that a sex box show British?
It is a British show.
Oh boy. What if they comboed this show with sex box?
Oh, interesting. I like it.
It mi- it
Like
might be
like
on
they
after
choose
this.
someone and then they go into one of the boxes. Veil goes down.
And then yeah.
Oh,
Is it a
man.
bigger box or is it one of those one-person boxes? They
At what
built
point
to
does it
get
just
in there?
become
Oh,
porn,
I got
though?
it now.
Make do. Make do.
Okay.
Right?
What if this was a Pornhub reality show?
Okay, I think that I cracked the code in this one. So sex box, whatever this show is called.
Sex box 1.
Sex Box 1, basically you have a couple who's trying to pick another couple to have an orgy with. So you have a bunch of
Oh.
couples banging into sex boxes and the thing's slowly moving up and then they're talking about how they're banging and like how they look. The couple
Oh.
who's trying to pick.
God damn it.
Nope.
No.
Something like
Hard
that, maybe?
veto. Hard veto.
That's the Pornhub version of the show.
Sure.
Saying, yeah, if there could be a Pornhub version of the show for sure.
I think Harrison just described it.
Yeah, I mean, there could be more conventional Pornhub version. All right, I think anyone else have anything else to discuss? What have you been watching, Max?
Still watching Fringe. It
Wow.
goes off Netflix tomorrow.
Oh, man, you got a lot of catching up. What season you in?
Season 4, episode 10.
Oh, okay, it's pretty much done.
No, there's another 20 episodes. he's
Yeah,
gonna
but
watch.
at that point, it's off the rails.
Season 4 isn't as good.
How are you liking season 4?
It goes back to the patterns of season 1. It makes you realize why you hated season 1.
I don't
Fair.
think you really hate season 1. It's just not as good as season 2 and 3.
Yo, do they literally have the caveman commercials back? Fucking Geico.
Oh, I guess so.
There you
Great.
go.
James, what have you been watching?
I've actually been rewatching Bob's Burgers,
Oh.
and it's been very enjoyable.
I fall asleep to Bob's Burgers a lot.
Yeah, it kind of sets you up nice. It's puts you in a good mood. If you're having a long day, it just it's kind of a nice palate cleanser.
Which
all the other
member of
shit.
the Bob family is your personal favorite?
Ooh, that is a super tough one because I've found that I've grown to like each of them for like the things they do. The last one I watched though, I don't know. Each of them have their good ones. Tina's great. I love the way that Tina runs.
Sure.
That's always phenomenal.
Yep.
And like the sound effects and things. Yeah, it's all good. Can't go wrong.
Max, what is your favorite?
So for my birthday this year, I recently received a keyboard that can record sounds, and I've really felt a lot closer to Gene ever since.
There you go.
Gina's a solid pick.
Yeah.
Rob, what have you been watching?
Over Labor Day weekend, I binge watched all of the Night of.
Oh, nice.
And
It's a solid review.
thumbs up.
Pretty thumbs up. Pretty
Oh,
pretty good show. Pretty
Damn.
good show.
Okay.
Yeah, I've spent some more time with that. I've watched the first two, but I need to get back on the horse with that one. Yeah.
I've been watching Narcos.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Season 2.
Season 2 is really good.
What's the premise of season 2? Is it still the same?
Pablo
plotline?
Escobar.
Still Pablo Escobar.
Okay. I was
But-
curious if they were gonna like change it up or not.
They're gonna change it up next season.
Oh.
Spoilers for this
Yeah, I haven't
season.
finished watching the first one. I kind of fell off the rails on that one.
Spoilers for history.
Pablo Escobar, at some point in time, is no longer a drug dealer. Spoilers.
It's true.
Surpriser.
I've also been watching some Star Trek Deep Space Nine,
Ooh.
Star Trek 50th anniversary this week. So, shout out to that. Deep Space Nine is pretty good. It's definitely more real life than the original Star Trek, but still pretty solid sci-fi.
It's cool.
Harrison,
So yeah, Narcos season 2 going pretty well so far. Towards the end of Mr. Robot season 1, I'm trying to catch up with that one,
Pretty good.
which has been really good so far. Has
Are
everybody
folks
here watched
watching
it?
season 2 of that yet?
saw
I
episode
saw a
1
couple,
and
but
2.
yeah.
They were
of
good.
what? Mr. Robot?
Yeah, Mr. Robot.
Yeah, I've watched it all. I'm caught up.
Okay.
It's really good.
You
I'm
good?
a few episodes
Okay.
behind. I've seen a decent amount of seasons.
Okay. I feel like I got off to a little bit of a slow start, so that's why I was curious.
It is a much slower paced season than
Okay.
last season.
Okay.
It's different. So you got to go in. I think if you went in with different expectations, it's probably be better. If you go in expecting it to like be the end of season 1, just going again, it's not that.
Got it.
I liked the intro of season 2, like episode 1, where they sort of introduce his schedule.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Spoilers,
Not-
Max.
not
Hey,
spoiling
hey,
too
hey,
much.
hey,
Yeah, I'm like, I
hey,
see,
hey,
I
hey,
see
hey,
Harrison
hey.
over there cringing.
Right
hey,
now.
hey, hey,
It's
hey.
just you got the schedule.
He's got the schedule. Okay.
See, I'm not trying to ruin too much.
And then I watched the first 2 episodes of Atlanta, Donald Glover's new show on FX.
Oh,
You
Don
guys should check-
Glover.
Yeah,
Good?
Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino,
Oh.
has this show that he created that's on FX now. It's really good, actually.
What's it about?
It's about the Atlanta rap game.
Oh.
And
Like in its current state or like in the Luda days?
it's like a fictional show about some rappers trying to make it in Atlanta, basically.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Is Gucci from Atlanta?
Don't
Gucci
know.
Mane?
Gucci Mane.
I think he's from Atlanta. Yeah. Anyway, check it out. It's a pretty good show so
Is
far.
Waka from Atlanta?
Waka?
Waka Flocka.
Waka Flocka?
I don't know where he's from. I want to say Florida almost, but I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyone could guess.
Got Outkast,
I've got no idea.
Luda.
You don't know about that East Coast rap, Chris?
Nope.
That's Southern rap.
That's Southern rap.
Southern. All right. You got any plugs, Harrison?
You can follow me on Twitter at Harrison Hoffman.
Rob?
Follow me on Twitter at RobKits. Send us your best British reality shows.
James?
I will echo Rob. I want to hear about this British TV things. I feel like we're missing out on some hidden gems.
Max?
Find me wherever magazines are sold.
Follow me on Twitter at the Chris Lorenz. You can follow us on Twitter at Who Put This On. You can email us questions and anything we requested at whoputthison@gmail.com. Adios.